Yeah. Herzog comes up.
Grab that mic stand. Do you have the mic stand? Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. You want to clip on me too?
Cool. Let's put a little bit more up towards him.
Limit my movement here. Okay. I hate standing in one spot.
Do I need to turn it down to go a little bit?
They can adjust it. They can adjust it. I'd leave it where it is.
We'll just work right here.
I'll turn it down one off. You want me to include the flag there?
I can get a couple of shots.
Oh, so you, but they want like one continuous flash. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would.
I'll pick up the other shots.
All right. We have everybody. We'll give one more minute. Actually 3, because I don't want to say that we started early and somebody missed, so.
That's how you want to check it out. All right, it's 2:30, so we'll go ahead and start this. Thank you for coming out today. My name is Chief Roger Shy with the Pocatello Police Department, and it's with this press conference is to release a little more information in reference to the officer-involved shooting that occurred in the early morning hours today. So the officers were dispatched at 01:39 hours and arrived at 01:41. So with a 2-minute response time. Upon the original call came in as a disturbance. Upon arrival at that disturbance, the officers exited their vehicles and began to respond to the residence, which is located at 941 East Bridger in Pocatello. As they approached the residence, the officers contacted a subject who was identified as Todd V. Brewer, date of birth 11/18/76. Upon contacting him in the yard, the officers gave him commands, and they observed that the subject was armed with a rifle. He raised the rifle towards the officers. At that time, shots were fired by the officers. Brewer then ran towards the alleyway, and the officers moved to that location. Upon contacting Mr. Brewer in the alleyway, there was an exchange of gunfire where an officer was hit, we believe, approximately 3 times. Another officer was struck 1 time, and Brewer was struck as well. We believe at this point 2 times, but we're doing some further research on that. Brewer was in the alleyway. The officers were on the ground, and the other officers on scene provided medical treatment to the officers and contacted Mr. Brewer, where they took him into custody. All the subjects were, all the officers and Mr. Brewer were transported to the Portland Medical Center. The officers were placed in the back of separate squad cars and responded there. And Mr. Brewer was transported to the ambulance. At this time, the officers are in stable condition. And I believe Mr. Brewer is also in stable condition. I haven't got an update on him recently. Some things that happened. I got this call at 2 o'clock in the morning. I came in, and I can tell you that how the officers responded and dispatch, and they did a good job. So I'd like to thank my staff. The community has responded very great. They have nothing but support for the injured officers, and so thank you to the community. Thank you for the phone calls, the emails. I've received them from all over the state, from other law enforcement agencies, and support from them. And the mayor has been by my side through this whole thing. And we both went up to the hospital to check on the officers. So I'd like to thank him for having that support. And a couple of our council people are here, Councilman Cheatham and Councilwoman Lyric. So thank you for that support on that end of things. I don't know how many questions I can ask or answer, but I will answer what I can. If I can't, I will tell you I can't. That is the information at this point that we're going to release. If you have questions, I will entertain some.
Brewer have any history of violence or any kind of gun crimes in the past?
I haven't looked at that yet, so I don't know.
Shelby Harris with the Out-of-State Journal. Do you have any potential ideas to motivations for the alleged assault?
That's under further investigation right now. We're looking at a couple different angles. The Critical Incident Task Force. We called out the East Idaho Critical Incident Task Force, which is led up Bannock County Sheriff's Department, took lead on this. And there's agencies from all over the region that are doing different things on this investigation. And I know that they're looking at a few different aspects. So hopefully we'll have a better, clearer answer for that here in the near future.
2 o'clock call, 2 officer shots, probably pretty difficult for you. Would you be able to share your how you reacted to that personally, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these officers, I know them. I've trained them. I've worked with them their whole careers. And when you see that one of your people is hurt like that, you take that to heart.
Officers are expected to make a full recovery.
I don't know. I hope so. I pray that they do.
Do you know where they were shot, like where their injuries were on their body?
We have a pretty good idea of that, but we're not going to release any of that information right now. So.
No names of the officers released?
No.
multiple shots were fired, right? Do we have any idea as to how many?
That as they're doing that investigation, they'll sort that out as they sort through all the different videos that are available, that are out there. So,
Were the officers wearing body cams? at the time?
yes.
Any idea yet if there were any drugs or alcohol involved? Do you know yet?
I know they're looking at that aspect. The investigation is yes.
Do you have any information as to, it seems that there hasn't been many of these type of incidents in Pocatello in the past. Do you know when the last officer involved shooting in which an officer was shot occurred?
Yeah, I do. I was working that day. I was a detective. It was 2006.
Thank you.
Any idea on possible charges?
I'll defer that to our prosecutor, Steve Herzog, to answer that question. So,
Is his condition such that he can be transported to jail, or he's still going to need to spend some time in the hospital?
I don't know. That's going to be a question for the hospital when they can release people and transport them. I'm not a medical expert, so.
You mentioned the community response has been really great. A lot of people reaching out with concerns. We're seeing messages, a lot of people concerned. At this point, what's the best way for the community to help these officers, to help your department?
Just continue to be supportive, show that love and support. And, that has 100% to do with the strong relationship that we built prior to this with our community. And we'll continue to do those things. We'll continue to build that relationship with our community. And it's a blessing to live in Pocatello. It truly is. And that community outreach, it means a lot. It means a lot to the officers. It means a lot to the dispatchers. It means a lot to the support staff that are typing the reports and doing the records, and the whole team of people that work at the Pocatello Police Department in the city of Pocatello.
You mentioned that it started off as a disturbance call. Were there any other people in the house, in the home, in the area?
Yeah, there was 2 other people in the house.
And at this point, they're not involved in the investigation.
Oh, they're absolutely, I mean, they're being talked to by the incident, critical incident task force, yes.
Initial response, do we know how many law enforcement agencies assisted or responded?
A lot. I don't have the exact number, but there was a lot.
Would it be safe to say that the local Shelby, Pocatello, Bannock County Sheriff's Office were involved?
Yes. All the way, Iowa State Police, District 5, District 6, Blackfoot, that area. I mean, there could have even been some people from even up further up north. So I know there's a lot of agencies involved. So we appreciate their response and their willingness to come and investigate this, to make sure that there's a fair investigation done on that end of things too, so that there's a detached perspective from that. So. All right, and if there's other information that we will release, we'll either do it via press release, or we'll convene everybody back here for that. But in the meantime, just the thoughts and prayers for the people that are, that hurt, and that's, it's a trying time for us. So thank you.
I'm Steve Herzog of the Bannock County Prosecutor's Office. My office anticipates charging The Office of the Bannock County Prosecutor's Office anticipates filing 2 counts of aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer with the intent to commit a serious felony. That has the potential, each count, of 25 years of incarceration. And there's a deadly weapon enhancement that goes with each one of those counts, which can add another 15 years to each count. So 40 years per count. And theoretically, they could be run consecutively. So potentially there's an 80-year period of prison time. But at this point, that's what we're anticipating doing. It'll probably be, we're going to time the charging on the suspect's medical condition. So that's about all I can comment on at this point. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.